Well, Matt, here we are, last pre-match interview of the season. Been a long season, and looking forward to the last game at home to Carlisle. Firstly, any reflections on the Rochdale game after sort of 3 or 4 days?
Not overly. It's probably what I spoke to you after the game about, and just the disappointing goals that we conceded, which followed on from the Colchester game. So no, two very disappointing results. When you look at how well we've done for a large, if not half, nearly half the season, 21 games, 3 defeats, being one of the best teams in the division for nearly that amount of the season is a great effort from what we came out of to go and put ourselves in the mix. And then 4 really tough games against the top teams, very tight in them all. Could have gone either way, especially the Northampton game. So it then just leads into 2 really, really disappointing results, and the goals that we considered very uncharacteristic, and tough ones to take really. And we're really looking forward to the Carlisle game, being back at home and trying to put a good performance in and get a result to finish off what's going to have been another great season for us.
It's important because the last game is the one probably people remember. So important to go into it and get a good result and send everybody away happy at the end of the season.
Yeah, and you always want to win football matches, whatever we do. The lads, even in 5-a-sides in training, relay races, whatever they do, there's that competitive spirit, and that's certainly what we want to take into the Carlisle game. And as I say, I said to you in previous interviews, the attendances and the supporters, the support this season have been growing as ever strong as it has every year since I took over. And the feel-good factor about the club, and the away support has been getting bigger and louder. Home support exactly the same. So it's really important that we just want to say thanks to the supporters, really, that they've stuck through us for a long season, and some difficult games, but some great games and some great memories too. And we want to go off on a high, like you say, because we're not going to be playing again for a few months. So we want to finish on that high to say, and most importantly, thank the supporters for their support this season.
And looking at Carlisle, the opposition, still our biggest league win was last season when they came to Sutton in a tight game up there in December. But what are you expecting? They're in a strange position because they know they're, barring miracles, they're in the playoffs, but can't get automatic promotion. So you expecting them to have one eye on what's happening in the next couple of weeks, or?
No, because until you're mathematically and including goal difference officially in the playoffs, they won't be taking their eye off the ball whatsoever. And freak results, freak situations can happen, because football has certainly got a knack of surprising you. You just look at Northampton on the last game last season with Bristol Rovers scoring what they did. So no, they won't be taking anything for granted. They're not officially in, if you like. Obviously, they'll be very pleased with the position they are in, but they'll be looking to get the job done. And like any team, you'd want to go into the playoffs on a bit of form and a good result and a positive performance as well. And know that they'll be a good side that they are, and they've brilliant this season to finish in the playoffs with the big clubs and budgets that are in this league, and for them to be in and around that, which not certainly for saying for a second Carlisle are a big club, but I certainly wouldn't imagine that their financial resources would be right up there with some of the ones in and around them. So they've done brilliantly well to stay in there and even look for, with games to go, to try and nick automatic. So they're a top side. It'll be a really tough game, and they'll be certainly not taking one eye off the ball of trying to beat us and then worrying about the playoffs after that.
And we got a good result up there, and we've done well against them in the 3 games we've played, and a good result up there in December, which you said earlier in the week you thought was the start of the turning point for our best spell of the season.
Yeah, I did feel that way when we had to dig in so much in the first half of the season. I'm not sure what number game that was, but it was probably getting towards the end of that first half of the season, probably around early December time. Late November is when I felt that we started to change with our personnel a little bit, started getting a few injuries back. Momentum started building with us with the result against Rochdale at home, and then really good back to us performance away at Carlisle there. And yeah, you probably tell me what game it is. And
I was just going to say, to save people rushing away and looking it up, it was game 20.
Game 20, there you go. So it was getting towards that halfway stage. And yeah, no, I certainly felt that was a really good performance up there. Yeah, one we were we got a little bit of criticism towards the end of the game there about time wasting or whatever, but that certainly wasn't the case. And that included myself holding the ball and trying to pass the ball back down the line. And I've never done that in 4 years of managers, trying to time waste and hold on to the ball. So I'm not sure what's where they were going with it, their press and whatever after the game. But from our point of view, it was a top performance. One we probably deserved more, and we're pushing for more. And I felt it was a real turning point in setting that long run that I've spoken about on us going and really kicking ourselves up the table.
Returning to sort of team news and last week, the old saying about the best laid plans rather came to fruition last Saturday, with Brad being sent off, Jack having to go on, and Killian then having to be replaced. We had a bit of sickness through the camp last week. What's the news on fitness?
Yeah, illness-wise, we're in a little bit of better position. We had a few games there where it was passing around the camp and players weren't either training or playing and literally getting out of bed the day before. There's been a couple of games we had 2 to 3 players in the squad not training the day before a game, but then going out on a Saturday and playing, and no one can be at their best if they're preparing like that. But unfortunately, that was the situation we're in. So illness-wise, we're in a better position than we have been in recent weeks. But injury-wise, like you say, with Jack Rice, he actually sustained a toe injury against Harrogate, which was way back into January. And Jack's hardly been training since, and literally just trying to get through games. And he's been doing brilliantly for us. But he needs to avoid an operation, he needs a sustained period of rest. So we was trying to get a head start with that, so he'd be fine and fit and fire and ready for the start of pre-season. And that was the thinking on just dropping into the bench there and not putting the rigours of 90 minutes through his toe and his injury again. Unfortunately, like you say, those best laid plans are soon taken away from you with the sending off against Brad. So no, it's unfortunate one, but yeah, Jack will be back in the team for Carlisle.
Was there any thought of playing Tyler Dickinson as the last game of the season?
Yeah, Tyler's come in. He just hasn't played a game for us yet. So Jack still wants to play, to be honest. He's still desperate to play. And Tyler's came in, done well in training and really given us good competition in that spot. But now I'll be going with Jack against Carlisle.
I did think Jack, it possibly passed people by, but Jack, when he came on as substitute, the first thing he had to face last Saturday was that free kick. Bearing in mind that he was coming cold off the bench, I thought that was could be one of the saves of the season, because it was going in the bottom corner and he had to react so quickly.
Yeah, you just look at the unfortunate events unravel there with the sending off and then the free kick and Jack running on, and like you say, just that's his first thing he's got to do, and you're fearing that we don't concede straight away from that either, and he did really well to push that away down to his right hand side.
Now we know Craig Eastman and Louis John are out for the season. Will Randall also missed last week. Are we likely to see him in the Carlisle game, or is his season now finished?
Yeah, well? No, him and Josh are both had injuries that took them away from that last game, so they've both been back into some training. So we're going to have to see them and how they are. We've obviously been in this week. We're off tomorrow, Saturday. We're off Saturday and then back in Sunday, ready for the game. That's our preparation lead into it. We always like the 2 days before the game to be off. So we're back in on Sunday. We'll be seeing where everybody is, and again just picking that fittest and strongest team that is available to us to go and get that result on Monday.
Does it disrupt the plans too much when a game's moved from a Saturday to a Monday? I say just switches the players' day off, I guess, and they're off tomorrow.
Yeah, just spins it around, and I'm talking to you now here on Friday evening, and it certainly doesn't feel like a Friday evening because of what we've done in training today and what our week's been. So it just throws your days out a little bit, but in terms of what we do leading up to the game, that stays the same.
And a lunchtime kickoff as well. Does that make any change to the pre-match routine? Obviously, they've got to be there earlier, but does it change anything from your point of view?
No, not overly from there. Just obviously the timings of it on the day and when the players would eat and their pre-match meal timings and stuff. But that would be the only changes actually on the day there.
And then after the game, first of all, say we've got the Player of the Year party in the NBA lounge from about 3 o'clock onwards, and hoping as many supporters can come in and come in and enjoy that and celebrate the season.
Definitely, and I urge and encourage as many people as possible to get in there and support. The staff, the players who have again had a great season overall. So really, I think we were the favourites to go down at the start of the season. The old second season syndrome everyone kept telling me about, and how tough it is for promoted teams, especially when you're coming into the Football League, how tough the second season is going to be. And yes, we certainly faced some uphill struggles that were even compounded and added onto us with the amount of injuries that we had. To dig in and be where we were coming into the Easter campaign is a testament to everybody at the club, supporters, sponsors, the board members, management committee, staff, players, everyone all together, as we always are, to dig in and have another great season in our second season as a Football League club. And I urge everyone to get in there for the award ceremony in the evening, late afternoon, as you say, because it's all brought for a little bit forward with the kick-off time. Is to get into the NBA lounge and celebrate and mingle with us all and enjoy the evening.
And for those that can't stay, I know you'll want to show your appreciation on the pitch at the end of the game. And we ought just to emphasise that it's very important tomorrow that we don't see what we've seen at some grounds recently, and that supporters stay off the pitch to give the players a chance to show their appreciation at the end of the game.
I feel that's really important. We experienced like a pitch invasion at Rochdale. They were mainly coming on to do a protest to their board members. But that's not anything we want to see here. Like I've just said, for those who can't come, like you just said that those who can't come into the awards evening after that, we want to show our thanks back to the supporters, and I'm sure they do to us for the season we've had. So we want to do that in the safest way and the best way, and that's through us being together on the pitch and walking around and clapping supporters who will be in the stands, and then hopefully, as I said, the majority of those can then come and join us for a drink in the bar afterwards.
And we should say, after the invasion at Rochdale, they actually decided not to do a lap of honour in the end. So it did have an effect at the end. Well, Matt, we thank you for your time. We'll look forward to seeing you on Monday, and we thank you not just for this pre-match, but every week this season. We've sat down on a Thursday or Friday and look forward to it. And you've always been there to do it. So grateful. Thanks for that on behalf of the supporters as well. And we'll see you on Monday.
Brilliant. Cheers, Tony. I'll see you then.
Thank you.